And a lot of the discussion that we're having, even some of the discussion about torture, came from whistleblowers. And you talk about a number of the whistleblowers in your book, including Ben Franklin, which I had never, prior to reading that, realized
you didn't
was
know
a
about
whistleblower. Some others that we do know about, Dan Ellsberg.
He got some stolen documents, which were very embarrassing to the governor of Massachusetts, who'd been the lieutenant governor, who said, in effect, to the British, do what you can to take away their liberty. And so he then had them revealed. And he got in a lot of trouble in England for doing that.
But as far as the importance of having these people who have that inside knowledge, because there is this thick wall of secrecy between what the agencies are doing and what they're saying publicly about what they're doing, which I think is the problem, that they're actually misleading the public about what they're doing in a lot of these cases.
Yeah, I talk in the book about a lot of leakers, and it's a very interesting story. But if you just take the four that I lumped together at the beginning of that chapter, it was Benjamin Franklin, Daniel Ellsberg, Chelsea
Manning,
previously Bradley Manning, and Snowden. Well, Franklin we would regard as a hero for what he did. Ellsberg, I think probably the judgment of history is also that he was a hero. I'll just pause for them for a minute. Franklin just turned over the originals of the letters, which were very embarrassing for Governor Hutchison and in Massachusetts, and helped, fan the flames of the revolution. Ellsberg was very careful in what he released, and there were 4 volumes of the Pentagon Papers that he held back, and they were the ones relating to diplomatic efforts. And interestingly, as I point out in the book, the President Johnson, as press secretary, revealed in his autobiography some of the stuff that Ellsberg had carefully withheld. Then we come to Manning and Snowden, and the first thing is technology has changed so rapidly. In Franklin's case, it was originals of these letters, which he'd somehow, when he was American envoy in Great Britain, had been given, and then he releases, and got in a lot of trouble for doing that. Ellsberg got a copy. By the way, Ellsberg, as I bring out in the book, Henry Kissinger relied on Ellsberg when he took office to advise him about strategy about Vietnam. And Henry Kissinger had employed Ellsberg as a guest lecturer in his sophisticated courses at Harvard College, and saw Ellsberg, a lot in the beginning and for the first year of the Nixon administration. But then when Ellsberg was fingered as the leaker of the Pentagon Papers, did Henry Kissinger tell his colleagues in the White House, oh, he was someone I relied on? No. What he did instead was to say he was a sexual deviant who'd shot people out of helicopters, so it was quite revealing of the lack of character of Henry Kissinger. But the technology is important. It took Ellsberg about 3 months working at night in some little small company or venture or grocery store that had a Xerox machine to Xerox the 7,000 pages of the Pentagon Papers. It took him about 3 months. So then you come to Manning and Snowden, and gigantic amounts of information. In Snowden's case, on a little thumb drive, the size of that, would have more information than an IBM supercomputer would have had when I was representing IBM as the supposed monopolist of the computer business. And so what took Ellsberg 3 months, what Benjamin Franklin couldn't possibly have done, to copy, in Ellsberg's case, 7,000 pages. Now we're talking, 7 million pages or more than that, which can be just like that, copied and distributed. So that's one of the fact that it's necessary for good reasons to use digital technology to share and spread information, and it's vital for our security to spread information quickly. But it's also one of the many reasons why the shelf life of secrets today is much shorter than it used to be. And then just one final difference among the four of them. I recounted how Ellsberg was careful in what he released and didn't release. And Snowden, the same thing. And also Snowden released it through journalists who were going to be careful about not revealing things like names of people who could be hurt. Manning was less careful and took more risks, and I think while the sentence he got of 35 years is medieval and unconscionable, ridiculous, 35-year sentence for what he did. But it is, I think, fair to say that the way he did it was less careful than how Ellsberg had done it and how Snowden did it.